Hello guys, today we're going to be making sourdough cinnamon rolls. These are going to be fermented as well, make them a little healthier. We're going to start by using 4 cups of flour. I use organic multi-purpose. Half a cup of melted coconut oil. Half a cup of water, about a half a cup of your active sourdough starter. Look how nice and bubbly this one is. And about a half a cup of honey. I use raw honey. Okay, at this point what we can do is just grab a spoon and do the initial mix. And then once we cannot mix it anymore, we can use our hands. Okay, once you're done mixing it with your hands, make sure it's very well integrated. All the ingredients, you can just form it into a ball. Cover with a lid, nothing too tight. You can use some plastic wrap as well, and let it rest overnight on a warm place. And that's it for the fermenting part. Okay, so our dough has been resting on the counter covered overnight, and now we are ready to actually make our cinnamon rolls. I am using the stand-up mixture, and now I'm going to start adding the rest of the ingredients. Okay, I'm going to add 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of salt. Going to add 2 eggs. And at this point I'm just going to let that mix and incorporate. We want to mix it until the dough stretches enough that it doesn't break. Okay, if you stretch the dough and it breaks, then it is not ready yet. It needs to mix for a little longer. Here we go. So once your dough is ready and passes the window pane test, you can pull it gently and it doesn't break. Then it is ready for us to dump it on the counter. Okay, so this part's fairly simple. We're gonna make the filling for the cinnamon rolls. We're gonna melt a half a cup of butter. We're going to add 1 cup of organic coconut sugar and 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. We stir it pretty good, and then once everything is incorporated, you have your filling made. And that will be more or less the consistency you're looking for. Once you have dusted a clean counter with some flour, you are ready to put your dough right on it. Just beware, it will be sticky. So I'll dust the dough very lightly, like don't go crazy, so the roller doesn't stick. And then just stretch it. You want it to be about 1/4 inch thick. Okay, just stretch it on all sides. You want to make a big rectangle. Now it's nice and stretched. You want to grab your coconut sugar butter mix and you're going to spread it out all throughout that big rectangle. Make a very thin layer with it. Okay, so the cinnamon filling is already spread out. You can do this with other types like chocolate. It will taste just as good. Just be careful not to add too much, because once you roll all of it, then some of it is gonna ooze out from the sides, okay? Now to roll it, I use a bench scraper just so it can help me pick it up, because the dough can be a little sticky. So I just unstick the first section and I start rolling it. Okay, and as soon as I see that it sticks again, then I unstick it. So you can already see some of the filling is already coming out through the side, so just be careful with how much you're gonna add. And then once you're close to the end, you can just fold it over and pinch it so it doesn't open. All right, so the cutting process might get a little messy depending how liquidy your butter mixture was. Okay, you're gonna grab a piece of floss, slide it underneath, and then tie it. And there is your first piece. And then you're gonna repeat the same process with the rest of the roll. Slide it under, and then cut small pieces. Make sure they're not too thick, because then they'll tend to be underdone. How pretty they look. While the oven preheats, what we want to do is just sprinkle some heavy cream over the cinnamon rolls and leave them sitting for about half an hour. These will give you cinnamon rolls that are super moist, super tasty. There's the cream. Okay, so once your cinnamon rolls have been sitting with the cream for about 30 minutes or so, we are ready to put them in the oven. gonna just leave them in there for about 20-25 minutes. Make sure you check them every now and then to make sure they're ready. And for our last part, we most definitely want the cream cheese topping. So we're gonna start with a half a cup of heavy cream. About 6 ounces of cream cheese. We're gonna add a half a cup of honey. And about 2 teaspoons of your vanilla extract. And just basically stir it, incorporate it as it heats up. You can use an immersion blender as well towards the end, just to make sure you get everything nice and incorporated. Okay, once it's a little bit heated and then nice and incorporated, you can just set it aside until your cinnamon rolls are ready. Okay, and they are ready. Look how delicious these look. Okay, now we just let them cool just for a pretty minute and then they'll be ready to eat.